Welcome to Human Services Stories, Management, Customer, and Staff Voices. I'm Clinton Lewis, and I'm glad you're here. This show is about the people behind the work, the managers, staff, customers, and communities who care, support, and help one another move forward. And this episode is called A Career Well Worth It, Shaping Lives and Myself. When you look back on the years of service in human services, there's often a quiet mix of emotions: pride, weariness, gratitude, and a little disbelief that you made it through all that you did. The work was not easy, and it asked a lot from you, but it was also meaningful in ways that you may only fully see in reflection. I love the game like Mitch. It was hard, it was real, and it changed me. The work was tough. If you've spent years in human services, you already know the truth about the truth. The job can be hard. There were days when the caseload was too heavy, the decisions were difficult, the emotions ran high, and the outcome was not always what you hoped for. You carried stories with you. You dealt with pressure. You had to keep showing up even when you were tired, frustrated, and uncertain. And yet somehow you kept going. That mattered. Because tough work does not always feel rewarding in the moment, but it can still be deeply worthwhile in the long run. When people look back on their careers, as they sometimes wonder, did I make a difference? Did I help anyone? Was it worth it? The honest answer is often maybe. Maybe you did. Maybe you helped someone along the way in a way that they still remember. Maybe you were the one person who listened when others didn't. Maybe you were the one who encouraged, guided, and stayed steady when someone else needed stability. You may never know the full impact of your work. A family member may never tell you. A child may never come back to say thank you. But that doesn't mean your effort was wasted. Sometimes the difference we make is quiet. Sometimes it shows up years later. Sometimes it lives in outcomes we never fully saw. Helping myself become better. Here is the part that matters just as much. Even if you are not sure how much you help others, you can be sure of this: the work helped shape you. You became more patient, more compassionate, more resilient, more aware of what people carry, and more appreciative of growth. Human Services has a way of teaching you about people, but it also teaches you about yourself. It shows you what you can handle. It shows you what matters. It shows you how to keep your heart open while still standing strong. So yes, maybe you help someone along the way, but you also help yourself become a better person. And that's no small thing. The reward was real. Even when the work was difficult, it was rewarding. The reward may not always have been money, praise, or recognition. Sometimes the reward was knowing you kept a child safe. You helped a family through a hard season. You gave someone hope, or you learned how to lead with more grace. That kind of reward stays with you. It becomes part of your story, it becomes part of your character, and it becomes part of the reason you can look back and say, I love the game like Mitch. Not because it was easy, because it was real, and it shaped who you are. It's our coaching moment of looking back with gratitude. Here's a simple coaching moment for this episode. Take a few quiet minutes and ask yourself, what part of my career made me grow the most? Who might have I helped, even in a small way? And how has the work made me a better person? Then complete this sentence in your mind or on paper. My career was tough at times, but it was rewarding and well worth it. Maybe I made a difference. Maybe I helped someone along the way. But I'm sure of one thing: I helped myself become a better person. Let this statement remind you that your story has value, even if you never saw every result. Thank you for listening to Human Services Stories, Management, Customer, and Staff Voices. If you're looking back on your own journey, remember this: you may have made a difference in ways you will never fully know. You may have helped someone along the way, and even more than that, you may have helped shape yourself into a stronger, better, and more compassionate person. That is worth honoring. You got this. Thank you.